All right, so I want to take a little time and work on a few videos for the new ARB brushless compressors. This is the Jeep Gladiator behind the rear seat tray, so this compressor mount goes behind the rear seats. It's the same mount I've had for a couple years now that works with the previous, the classic style ARB twin and ARB single compressors. So this one mount will actually work with both brushed and brushless twin and single compressors, so it will hold all four of those compressors. So the way this is set up right now, I was going to do a couple videos just showing some different configurations. It's not really an install video, but it's more of just this is best practice on how I think it would be set up the most optimum. So the way it's set up right now is I've got it, this is the single air coupler kit that I offer, and it basically comes with the air coupler, the air line, stainless air line, and then any kind of fittings that are needed to kind of set up in this way. Now the way this is set up right now, it's actually the compressor comes with this single outlet JIC4 outlet fitting. So that would go into the compressor, and then you also have your spot for your pressure switch. So that will give you plenty of room to get your wiring and stuff set up for the pressure switch. And then it also gives you a nice setup to where it's as thin as possible set up, so then you don't have to worry so much about your seat hitting the compressor. Because these compressors, the brushless compressors, from what I've read and what I've been reading and just the research, these do get pretty hot, and some have said even hotter than the previous versions. So I have not tested that myself, so I can't verify that completely. But the way this one, again, this is the same mount I've had for a while. The way that the new brushless compressor was sets up, I've got it set up now. The 4 holes on the bottom are technically the holes that I have made for the brushless or the single compressors. So that the bottom 4 here do hold the previous single compressor, and it will hold the brushless also. But with this configuration, having the air coupler and hose and the mounting plates, you have to use some of the different holes, just because the way that the new bracket is, it's a nice bracket as far as being able to remove the compressor quickly. But what I have found is that you do not have as flexible mounting situations with the new brushless compressor because of this bracket. With the previous single classic style, you can rotate it 360 degrees and kind of get it wherever you want to, but now you're limited to the ribs that are on the compressor that work and made up with the bracket. So, excuse me, with the way I've got it set up right now, this is really meant to be for if you want to have your switch behind the rear seat with you. And, you know, that way it's in one spot and you can turn it on and off and use, you know, plug in your air hose and stuff to go for it. And that's kind of the idea of having this plate here. Now, the bonus with having the single compressors, either the brushed or the brushless, is that you don't have to have these mounting brackets and everything for the air coupler. This is really mostly if you want to have the switch. So if you don't want to have the switch and you want to have it hooked up maybe to one of your auxiliary switches or somewhere else, then you can just mount the compressor itself, have your pressure switch, and then you can mount the air coupler directly onto the compressor. And in that way, it'd be a little bit more flexible on how you can mount it, because then in that point, you can use some of the other mounting holes to even mount this horizontally versus vertically. And in that way it gives you the ability to, or even if you just flipped it up the opposite way vertically, then that's going to put your air coupler and stuff right up here. So that way it gives you a lot more flexibility in that sense. It really is just a matter if you want to have your switch behind the seat or not. I personally prefer having the switch right by my compressor, whether it's behind the seat, under the seat, or under the hood. I just always like the switch being right there, so I can turn it on and off and control everything in one spot, instead of having to get out and go over to an auxiliary switch and start it from there. And then that way it doesn't take up one of your auxiliary switches either, and everything's just wired directly to the battery and set up that way. But that's just my personal preference and how I like to have everything set up. So I'm going to show some different configurations with the new brushless. And I may even pull out the single classic style one just to show those. And then I'm going to do a couple versions with the new twin also, just to see. And really what I'm doing is I'm exploring, since the new compressors are made a little bit differently, I'm exploring which fittings are going to work the best for the single or the dual air coupler setups. But if you have any questions about these, the mounts are on the website right now, 813fabrication.com. They are set up now for both classic and brushless style. So it's got all the holes to mount all of either one of those compressors, so it's good to go with any of them. But if you have any questions on these, just shoot me a message through the website or on here, and I'll be glad to help out. But if not, 813fabrication.com. Thanks.